Living on $2,000 a month in California sounds impossible until you look at 10 specific towns where the cost of living, housing affordability, and local economics make it not just possible but potentially strategic for anyone trying to build financial stability without leaving the state. Before we dive into the towns, I need to be extremely clear about something. Nothing in this video is financial, investment, or relocation advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor, career counselor, or relocation specialist. What I'm providing here is analysis and commentary on publicly available data. Alright, let's talk about what living on $2,000 a month actually means and how we're evaluating these towns. $2,000 monthly breaks down to roughly $24,000 annually. That's below the California median income, but in certain communities with lower housing costs, reduced expenses, and different economic structures, it's workable. We're looking at towns where rent for a one-bedroom apartment averages between $500 and $800, where groceries, utilities, and transportation costs are below state averages, and where employment opportunities exist even if wages are lower than coastal California. These aren't resort towns or retirement paradises. These are working communities with real economies, real challenges, and real opportunities for people who prioritize affordability over amenities. Number 10, 29 Palms. 29 Palms sits in the high desert of San Bernardino County, adjacent to Joshua Tree National Park and home to the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center. The median rent for a one-bedroom apartment here runs between $600 and $750 monthly. Utilities average around $150. Groceries for one person typically run $300 to $350 monthly. Transportation costs are moderate if you own a vehicle, with gas prices typically tracking slightly below California averages and minimal public transit available. Put that together and you're looking at total monthly expenses between $1,200 and $1,500, leaving room within a $2,000 budget for savings, emergencies, or discretionary spending. The economy here revolves around the Marine base, tourism related to Joshua Tree, and service industries supporting both. Employment opportunities exist in retail, hospitality, and base-related civilian positions. Wages are lower than coastal California but aligned with local cost of living. The trade-offs are real. This is a remote desert community. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 100 degrees. Entertainment options are limited. Medical facilities are basic. You're an hour from Palm Springs, 2 hours from larger cities. But for someone who values outdoor access, low cost of living, and a quiet lifestyle, 29 Palms offers genuine affordability. The community has around 25,000 residents, enough to support essential services without urban density or prices. Number 9, Ridgecrest. Ridgecrest sits in the Indian Wells Valley in Kern County, best known as the gateway to the Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake. The median rent for a one-bedroom apartment runs between $600 and $700 monthly. Utilities average $120 to $150. Groceries run $300 to $350 for one person. Transportation costs are manageable with a vehicle, as public transit is extremely limited. Total monthly expenses typically fall between $1,300 and $1,600, leaving cushion within a $2,000 budget. The local economy centers on the naval base, which employs thousands of military personnel and civilians in research, testing, and support roles. Additional employment exists in retail, healthcare, and education serving the local population of around 29,000. Wages reflect the lower cost of living but base-related positions often include federal benefits that add value beyond salary. The trade-offs here are geographic isolation and climate. Ridgecrest is remote. You're 2 hours from Bakersfield, 3 hours from Los Angeles. Summer heat is intense. Cultural amenities are limited. But the community is stable, housing is affordable, and for someone with relevant skills or military connections, employment opportunities exist. The presence of the naval facility also means better infrastructure and services than you'd find in similarly sized remote communities. Number 8, Madera. Madera sits in the San Joaquin. Number 8, Madera. Madera sits in the San Joaquin Valley, roughly 25 miles north of Fresno. This is agricultural country, and the economy reflects that reality. Median rent for a one-bedroom apartment runs between $700 and $850 monthly. Utilities average $150 to $180. Groceries run $350 to $400. Transportation costs are moderate with a vehicle, essential as public transit is minimal. Total monthly expenses typically range from $1,400 to $1,700, fitting within a $2,000 budget with some margin. The economy is driven by agriculture, food processing, logistics, and service industries supporting a population of around 66,000. Employment opportunities exist in these sectors, though wages are generally lower than coastal California. The trade-off is that cost of living is also substantially lower. Madera offers more amenities than smaller towns on this list. You have access to healthcare, education, retail, and services you won't find in more remote communities. You're also close to Fresno for additional options. The climate is hot in summer, mild in winter. The Central Valley doesn't have the appeal of coastal or mountain California, but for someone prioritizing affordability while maintaining access to urban amenities, Madera presents a viable option. The community is established with infrastructure, schools, and services that support family life if that's relevant to your city. Number 7. Corcoran. Corcoran is a small city in Kings County in the San Joaquin Valley with a population around 22,000. The economy is dominated by agriculture and the California State Prison, which is one of the largest employers in the area. Median rent for a one-bedroom apartment runs between $550 and $700 monthly. Utilities average $120 to $150. Groceries run $300 to $370. Transportation costs require vehicle ownership. Total monthly expenses typically fall between $1,200 and $1,500, leaving substantial room within a $2,000 budget. Employment opportunities exist primarily in agriculture, the prison system, and local services. The state prison employs correctional officers and support staff with state benefits packages that add significant value. Agricultural work is seasonal and physically demanding but available. Service sector jobs exist supporting the local population. The trade-offs are significant. Corcoran is small, remote, and offers limited amenities. You're 30 minutes from Hanford, an hour from Fresno. Entertainment and cultural options are minimal. Medical facilities are basic. But for someone who needs maximum affordability and can find employment in available sectors, Corcoran offers some of the lowest living costs in California. The community is working class, practical, and focused on employment and family rather than lifestyle amenities. Number 6. Redding. Redding is the largest city on this list with a population around 92,000, serving as the economic and cultural hub of far northern California. Median rent for a one-bedroom apartment runs between $750 and $950 monthly, at the higher end of our range but still workable. Utilities average $150 to $200. Groceries run $350 to $450. Transportation requires a vehicle. Total monthly expenses typically range from $1,500 to $1,900, fitting within a $2,000 budget but with tighter margins. Why include Redding despite higher costs? Because it offers something the smaller towns don't, a genuine regional economy with diverse employment opportunities. Healthcare is a major employer with Shasta Regional Medical Center and other facilities. Retail, education, government, and service industries all provide employment. Wages are higher than in smaller Central Valley towns, though still below coastal California. Redding also offers amenities. You have shopping, healthcare, entertainment, outdoor recreation, access to Shasta Lake, Lassen Volcanic National Park, and the surrounding mountains. The climate is hot in summer but the area offers 4 seasons and natural beauty. The trade-offs are that you're remote from major urban centers. Sacramento is 3 hours south. The economy can be volatile, affected by factors like wildfires, drought, and broader economic conditions. But for someone who wants affordability while maintaining access to city-level services and employment diversity, Redding represents the upper end of what's possible on a $2,000 monthly budget. Number 5. Modesto.